quick notes about this. Strawberries. I don't know. I'm not enjoying growing strawberries. They just don't pay off. This side doesn't get as much sun. These do really well, so I'm picturing a whole line there. So there's not enough sunlight here. Brussels sprouts. This is working. I just can't help but think that will be better in more sun as well. Carrots. Carrots are working here on this side, and so is Swiss chard. I think the Swiss chard would do better further over. In terms of this, the red sorrel kicks, but the kale's doing fine, but it's just not getting enough water. Celery over here, definitely not getting enough water, and they were too close together. There's a melon there. Grapes. In terms of this bed, the overall plan is gonna be wormwood coming up, and then we'll get our irises in front of that, and there's a whole bunch of ground cover that I'm hoping is gonna fill in there. Basil, lemongrass. I'm trying to cover a lot of this with the irises. The greenhouse, and we've got the compost in there. All doors closed. That mass is going to heat the structure. The compost is going to heat the structure, and at night that should give off heat. So we're going to attempt to grow figs. We'll see how well the figs have done this year. So they were half that size. So they're in there. There's a glimpse. We're composting inside. So this provides heat, and it heats this mass that's full of rock and hard packed clay up until the planting zone. Just at the back there, and we've planted stuff on the other side there just to utilize that space. I've also got a lemon tree. I'm going to try and overwinter that. That's not going to happen likely. It'll just get too cold. So this is a new start. Fig tree, I'm going to bring that in. Likewise with the mandarin plants. Goddamn squirrels. So this would be the back side. So water drains down from here, goes down and then into this bed. And there are currants and stone crop and a few other things in there. The pond. So this is the pond. Let's see if we can spot the fishies. Yeah, so there's fish in the pond. And so there's a whole bunch of berries in there. Black currants all throughout there. And then in the back, blackberries. Composting. Looks horrible, but so that's going to be turned soon. The tomatoes here. It just gets really dry in this general area. This whole general area gets dry. So let's take a look at this. This whole area is dry and remains dry. So this needs to be carved out more. There are the irrigation channels there, but if we carve that out more and make it a low spot, this whole area, I think would be better. The beans did wonderfully. And this is a hazelnut tree. And it's grown in a slightly different manner. It's called coppice. Peas are also doing well. Comfrey feeding all the trees, and all of the currant bushes at this time of the year look horrible. Kale, that's a high bush cranberry bush that's developing there. New blackberry plant, so that's going to be a whole blackberry stand there. This is an apple tree, grafted, so the graft took, which is lovely. And then another apple tree right there, took, grafted, blackberries. Another apple tree, grafted, sage in front of it as a protective block. So we're on J Way now. And J Way goes all the way around the corner, but we're just working on this section. But already we're noticing that it's quite fertile here. This is all ground cherries that we've just let go. But we're just going to continue to build the soil up with that compost here. And there's also a brand new grapevine in there. We built a ramp down. This is J-Way Expressway. This is compost. Pretty magical back here. Apple tree, plum tree, cherry tree, cherry tree, plum tree, and then another cherry tree over there. Again, these are all blackberries, so we're building those up and trimming them out. This one really needs to be trimmed, this guy here, but you trim them down and then they produce more berries. This is kind of a neat one here, tobacco. So we veered off to greenhouse way. As you can see, there are pathways throughout this whole section, and then come back this way. So it's a whole semicircle. And then of course the greenhouse. So kale doing really well in here. Beans also doing really well.